Tomorrow marks the anniversary of one of President Barack Obama's signature efforts. The initiative, called My Brother's Keeper, aims to bolster the lives of young men and boys of color.
And this anniversary comes on the heels of another important date in American race relations, the killing of Trayvon Martin. NBC News correspondent Trymaine Lee has been following all of this. Trymaine, give us a sense of what we're about to hear.
You know, it's hard to imagine. It's been 10 years since the launch of this program that had high anticipation and expectations. And it seems that things are actually pointing in the right direction. 10 years in, these young folks across the country are being shaped in ways many could have never imagined. Check it out. For some young men of color in Newark, New Jersey, it can often feel as if the world has put a target on their backs.
Mental health, drugs, sometimes lack of resources from teacher and staff.
But here, these teens know there's a group of brothers who've got their backs.
How you feeling? How was your day? We don't get asked them questions, except when we come to spaces like this.
The teachers and the staff here, everybody take care of you.
They're students at LEAD, a charter school for people 16 to 21 who struggled in regular public school. At LEAD, administrators say students get mentoring, role models who look like them, and one-on-one attention.
I'm not a product of my environment.
These students are in a program called Men of Excellence, part of a community network helping to empower young men like Joshua and Abraham to see in themselves what society may not. That network is the My Brother's Keeper Alliance, the initiative for Black and brown boys started by then-President Barack Obama in 2014. It was the president's response to Trayvon Martin's senseless death.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
My Brother's Keeper, funded through public and private partnerships, provides mentorship, education, and job training.
We don't save young people, right? Young people save themselves. We are but facilitators of them in that journey.
In places like Newark, we're seeing concrete reductions in homicides.
Newark Mayor Ross Baraka credits the partnership with MBK and other community-based programs for an historic drop in homicides to a 60-year low in just over a decade.
But then when that work began to kind of integrate itself with the policing of the city and the everyday functions of the city, then you saw dramatic changes.
Reduction of homicides represents young men that are living today, that will be fully present, right? I'm trying not to get emotional, but will be fully present in their families, in their communities, and in our democracy.
In the decade since it began, MBK has reached thousands of young men with positive results in what the organization calls model communities, like Newark and Yonkers, where MBK is credited with helping to elevate the highest graduation rate for young men of color in the state.
We are very explicit about the fact that there is nothing wrong with our young men in our city. There are problems, but they are not the problem. They are actually our greatest resource.
Last year, Abraham was in court-ordered detention. Now, he's the president of Men of Excellence. Joshua, like countless other students across the country, fell through the administrative cracks and hadn't attended school since the pandemic.
It made me think of the future of me becoming something I wanted to be.
My mindset used to be how I'm gonna survive, but now my mindset is how good of a life I'm gonna live.
Newark is just one of dozens of cities all across the country that have My Brother's Keeper programs. And 10 years in, leaders say the data is promising, that their efforts to make sure young people have access to opportunities and mentorship and job skills is actually beginning to pay off.
I mean, Trymaine, this was so powerful, and it's not every day you see an initiative like this seem to be working. It sounds like the leaders are saying it is. What do they credit for the success?
A few things. One is access to the variety of programs, mentorship and job skills. But really, it's about consistency, that they go to these programs and see other young men and also mentors as Black men, reflecting who they are. But also, they get the tools to save themselves. And that the question, are you your brother's keeper? Yes, I am. They go into these spaces and have other young men just like them from communities just like theirs for help and support.
Yeah, supporting each other.
That's right.
Mentoring matters so much,
So
right?
very much.
Trymaine, thank you for that.
Thanks.